algebra students. This lesson is solving multiple step inequalities. Now, we've already talked about solving 1 and 2 step inequalities, and nothing is different, alright, between solving equations and solving 1 and 2 step inequalities along with multi-step inequalities. All the steps are the same. The only thing we got to keep in mind is when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you must flip the inequality sign. Okay, that is the only thing you have to keep in mind when solving these. So again, steps are the same. Distribute on both sides, combine like terms on both sides, variables to the left, constants to the right, and then go ahead and undo multiplication or division. So let's take a look at a couple of examples here. Number 1, we look at this. Right now, we have variables on both sides and constants on both sides. So how do I move the variables to the left? Well, I subtract the 7x, line it up under its like term. How do I get rid of the 2? Add it. And now 3x minus 7 gives me negative 4x. 2's eliminate. 7x is eliminate. Greater than or equal to negative 10 plus 2 is negative 8. Now, to get rid of the negative 4 is linked by x by multiplication. So I have to divide both sides by negative 4. Now, since I divided both sides by a negative, I must go ahead and flip that inequality sign. So x becomes less than or equal to negative 8 divided by negative 4 is positive 2. Now, the next one. On the left side, I have to go ahead and distribute. I have to simplify each side first. So negative 2x, negative 2 times 1 is minus 2, is greater than 6x minus 18. Now right now, I do not have all my variables on the left. So how do I make that happen? Subtract 6x from both sides. I do not have all my constants on the right side. So I add 2. That gives me negative 8x is greater than negative 16. When I go ahead and divide by negative 8, I get x. Since I divided by negative 8, I must flip that inequality sign. So it becomes less than 2. And that is your answer. Number 3, we go to move the variables to the left. Subtract 2x. Constants to the right. X minus 2x is negative x. 3 is eliminate. 2x is eliminate. Less than or equal to negative 8 minus 3 is negative 11. Now, I have to divide by negative 1 to get rid of that negative. Since I divided by a negative, I go ahead and I flip that inequality sign. So we get x is greater than or equal to 11. Number 4, I do not have my variables on the left side, so I subtract 3x. Line it up under the like terms. My constants, I have to add 4 to both sides to get my constants on the right side. So we end with negative 4x is greater than 2. So now, to get rid of negative 4, I go ahead and divide by negative 4. And when I do that, I get x. I do have to flip it. Becomes less than negative 1/2. Okay? Number 5. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move my variables to the left by adding 7x. My constants to the right by subtracting 5. 3x plus 7x gives me 10x. 5's eliminate is less than negative 9 minus 5 is negative 14. Well, to get rid of the 10, I have to divide by positive 10. Since I divide by a positive, I do not flip that inequality sign. But I can go ahead and reduce negative 14 over 10, which would give me negative 7 over 5. Remember, I only flip it when I divide by a negative. Number 6. Is there any simplifying on the left side? No. So, on the right side, I have to go ahead and distribute this negative 2. So again, negative 2x, negative 2 times negative 8 is positive 16. Now, to move the constants to the left, I add variables to the left. To move the constants to the right, I subtract 4. Negative x plus 2x is x, becomes less than 16 minus 4 is 12. And I am done. Now, number 7. Again, I already have my variables on the left. I already have this on the left, which means I have to get rid of 12 first. Since 12 is positive, I have to subtract it. Remember, 12 minus 12 gives me 0. That means I got rid of it. So negative 2x is greater than 10 minus 12 is negative 2. To get x by itself here, I have to divide by negative 2. And since I divided by a negative, do I have to flip the inequality sign? Yes. So x is less than positive 1. And you are done. Now with number 8, there's a couple of ways you can go about this. You could rewrite the problem, which some people would do, meaning they would write 2x minus 6, then notice how this alligator is eating 2x minus 6. Keep it eating the 2x minus 6, and then bring the 10 to the other side. Now, other people will go ahead and add the 6 to both sides. So, if I add 6 to both sides, that puts the constants on one side, the variables on the other. So you get 16 is less than or equal to 2x. Now, I can go ahead and divide by 2. I get 8 is less than or equal to x. But we don't like to leave our answer this way. We like the variable to be on the left. So if I rewrite this, I write x and 8. And what is the alligator eating here? The x. So I keep it eating the x. Now, in case that last step is a little tough for you, what's another way you can approach it? Well, if I look at this, what I do is the same thing. I put the variables to the left and I put the constants to the right. Sorry, this is acting up on me. So what I would do is go ahead and just move your variables to the left. There's no like terms on the left, so I scoot it over. Move my constants to the right. Subtract 10, subtract 10. I end up with negative 2x. Those eliminate, is less than or equal to negative 6 minus 10 is negative 16. Now I can go ahead and divide by negative 2. When I do that, now I can flip the inequality sign and I get x is greater than or equal to positive 8. You get the same answer. Now, number 9. First thing I do is subtract 2. Move the constants to the right. Then, negative 9x is greater than or equal to 18. Then I go ahead and divide by negative 9. And since I'm dividing by a negative, I have to flip the inequality sign, negative 2. So x is less than or equal to negative 2. Hopefully this gives you a good variety of examples to look at and help you out. Try a few problems on your own. Make sure you check your answers at the end. Thank you.